So I can look at old things, old systems, for instance, like an N64. I'm like, hello,
Old
my
friend.
sweet, sweet friend that was there on so many dark nights. And
That
then
happened
I would
two
need to
weeks
grab it
ago.
and have some alone time with the N64. But, you know, all of that aside, here's the deal. It's mostly useless to me because of what Lucas said, because of the fact that most games have been remastered for newer systems, and like the Switch, for instance, of course, it sucks that they charge you a monthly rate to play
For
old
such horrible
games.
services. Yeah, it's bad.
100%. I don't agree with that, but I do enjoy that I have that opportunity to play it on, the newest technology. And, I sort of skimmed over the question before about emulators, and it's because of what Lucas just said as well. Honestly, it's because most games I can play on just new systems, being that remasters are such a prevalent thing these days. I'm a sucker when it comes for remasters. It could basically be the exact same game with little to no changes, just on a different, newer system. And chances are I'm going to buy it. I'm that person that's going to buy the same game 5 times. I'm the person that will buy the same movie 5 times.
Oh my
I
God. I'm disgusted at the amount of times I've bought the same game. Even back in like the PS2 era, I would buy the same game on the GameCube, the PS2, and the Xbox. I would have all three versions.
yeah,
Why?
yeah,
Because it was really cool to see the button prompts be different on other
for
versions when you were
sure.
used to. I'm not even joking. It's a little kid thing, but oh God, I'm sorry. You just awoken a weird, strange beast in me. I even over here, I've Brandon, just look at this. From Jesus, I'm sorry. I just side tangent, but this is obnoxious. You just So let's talk about rebuying the same game however many times for however many different versions end up coming out.
Exactly. So I'm happy you understand.
Oh,
All right, I have to back up my chair a little bit here. I have an old man leg cramp going on.
me too. I didn't want to say anything.
Do you? It's
Yes.
so weird. I need potassium apparently, but uh um yeah, so it's weird. So this is ultimately what it comes down to, is that if there's a game I'm looking for that I can play on a new system with the best graphics, the best hardware, then I'm all for it. And
So he doesn't want this version. He wants this version,
right,
basically.
exactly,
100%.
exactly. But I
Yes.
would have bought both of them, you
Yes.
know, and right. So, and then you can sell that old copy and you can make some money off of it.
I'm so
Put
conflicted with
towards the new
selling my
copy.
old copies, Brandon. I have my old Harry Potter stuff. I have old Star Wars stuff that's just
Yeah.
useless. And it's really hard for me to part with it. Like I remember when I got all that stuff, dude, and I was going to talk to you about that, but that's a whole separate occasion. Let's continue. We can't get too off topic right now. I was getting nostalgic. Sorry, Harry.
Sorry,
Continue.
Harry.
Let's continue, shall we?
Harry
Honestly.
Potter. You
Oh
put your name
God.
in Goblet, Harry. You put your name in Goblet Fire.
Oh my God.
Anyway, this is what happens when we record at 4 a.m. You wouldn't
Yeah, it's
know
bad.
that's the time it is, other than the fact that we're more insane than usual.
Yes. So we're gonna stay on track so we can we can downplay some of that craziness because if I'm not mistaken, one of us has to be at work in less than 8 hours. So
Eh.
let's get it going.
Um,
I don't work till 5 tomorrow, by the way. So just so mentally,
What?
yes, mentally prepare.
Okay, I'm
You heard
prepared.
it here, people. He mentally prepared for the morning. That's what that was.
That was me screaming inside my mind. Uh, um, I don't know. So I had to prepare a little bit more. I apologize. Uh, I when it comes to older games like that though, it's just like new system. Like I said, to sum it up, if it's a game like the James Bond games, Lucas mentioned Quantum of Solace on his emulator. If it is a game that has never gotten a re-release, then I will bite the bullet and I will go back to those old systems. Like, I have a PS2, a PS3, a PS4, a PS5.
PS5.
That's not normal for me. A lot of that happened during the pandemic just because I wanted to play some of these older games that I had no other way of playing. And ultimately what I think it boils down to, and I wish that I was
we need to talk.
Smart enough to have said this right from the beginning. Maybe you could just edit it. So when you're like, Brandon, why don't you like emulators? And just cut it right to this point where I say, because it's not physical media, Lucas.
Oh, yeah, that's getting left in just to prove a point.
No, I mean I was kidding, obviously, to actually
of course
cut it like that because that would be hilarious. But
yes, it would be. But yeah, I mean, it definitely. Again, wow. I mean, how if this isn't like par for the course on this one? Because like, think about this, man. With my stance on emulators, Brandon knows, as you guys sort of know as well, because I do bring it up a lot, and I jokingly shove it in his face because the PC elitist thing, it becomes true, and it's a running gag here. We're the vegans of the gaming community. My love for 4K emulation flies in the face of my love for physical media and physical games. It's real conflicting. Speaking of which, I mentioned it in the other video, I believe, and I have it just here for reference because I had it on the coffee table. I was playing it earlier on my GameCube with the component cables. Looks gorgeous, 480p. Looks as good as a console is going to look, but I did want to play it and compare it. PC blows out of the water. Same performance, same frame rate, same everything. I love this version, but just because I grew up with it doesn't mean, I always have to play this version. I can still have it on my shelf, but if I'm going to play it, might as well play it in the best possible way.
something else that needs to be said as well is that and I can't speak for everybody on this matter, just myself, but I love when old games retroactively are given trophies for PlayStation or achievements for Xbox. I think it's just so cool because
yeah, that's one thing you lose with the emulation thing.
exactly one of a multitude of things, in my opinion, but that's a big thing, because this is a game that you've already
phenomenal.
I'm sorry.
The achievements, trophies, whatever you want to call it. I mean,
Achievement,
the amount of
trophy,
the amount of replayability that it adds to a game, and the sense of accomplishment you get from already beating a game you've beaten 20 times is a breath of new life. It's very nice.
100%. And chances are they are, creating trophies or achievements for things that you've already done 1,000 times when you were a kid, something that you and your friends talked about. And, it was like that one really cool thing that, you wanted to do and could never do, or you did do it and you did it a bunch of times to impress your friends or whatever. And they created an achievement for that, let's say. And that's so cool.
It's very interesting too. And I don't know if you ever thought about this. I don't know if we've ever even mentioned it because it's different, but why has Nintendo never implemented an achievement system? of all companies,
Thank
they
you.
have like the most hardcore completionist fan base, loyal, what have you, of the gaming industry. They of all don't have it. If the Switch had achievements for Mario All Stars and I could play Mario 64 and Mario Galaxy with achievements, do you not think I would be bending over backwards to do insane trick shot stuff in those games?
Yeah.
I do it now without even getting any compensation out of it through the game in that matter.
It's
Oh god,
insane.
Nintendo is just like, what are they, like the jaded X? You just keep going back to them because it's comfortable, hoping it's going to get better, but it just never does. Because like every Nintendo system I get, it's like I love it in the beginning and it just starts to like really suck. Like my Switch is like all but been replaced by my Xbox and my PC. It's sad. Although I mean, it's just the first party stuff is just so good when it's there. Like WarioWare comes out this morning, September whatever, Friday, and I have to go pick it up. Thanks, Best Buy. Got to keep my Elite Plus reward membership status in 2021. This episode.
I don't know how long. I was like, you're just staying there, not moving. So I'm gonna try and stay there, not moving too.
This episode of Why Are You Still Here is sponsored by Best Buy. Get your Elite Membership Rewards Plus by spending $3,500 in 1 year.
Oh, it's so easy.
A caveman could do it.
I looked around to find like a Best Buy sign or something, and I
Me
didn't
too.
have
I
one.
like it's so funny you say that. I looked over to the left and the right, just assuming, because I always have like these references from my game shelf, like at a grab. And I'm just like expect. Oh yeah, I got the blue Best Buy bag from 2008. It's right here. Hold on, let me grab it. He's got the yarn on the top. This is from a real distinct era. Useful or useless, it's still held up. Best Buy bags in 2021.
True.
Are they worth it? Oh my gosh.
Ultimately, what it comes down to is video game systems, whatever you want to say, it becomes its own separate category. That's sort of like my one part of it, that sort of, breaks down a little bit. Like if I'm trying to make an argument for outdated tech to be useless, it breaks down when it comes to video games and video game systems a little bit. Like I said, because there are certain things that never, got a re-release. The James Bond
and that
game
never will,
and other licensed games, a lot of those just never get re-released, which is unfortunate, but it happens. And it ends up just being so different for me than actual, tech, as in phones or computers or whatever, because everything you can do on those, you can do on the new stuff as well, and much better and quicker than those previous ones. But I do understand the nostalgia aspect of it, of course. Circling back, it would be like I said, getting my hands on some old piece of equipment. Of course, I want to check it out. That doesn't necessarily mean that I want it, to be implemented into my life, though.
Which is
that
exactly
goes for
why.
everything.
Yeah, well, it's important to have that around, so that way when you do want to see that orange iBook Generation 3 and you want to mess around with it, it's like, oh yeah, I got that one weird friend. He just, fixes up all this old stuff. I'll go to his house tonight, and then, we'll have a chips and dip party. We'll play Half-Life 2 while we're at it. LAN party on the PC3, guys. FIFA 09.
That was a real deep inside joke right there.
Yes, I'm glad you got that. But it's always cool to have that one weird guy to enjoy it, which our interests make the world go round, because then it's preserved. So that way, even when you can't find the weirdo to try that out with, you go on YouTube and then there is inevitably some other weirdo who make videos on these topics and then post it so can check it out. So we need to have people
Correct.
like Brandon and people like me who are on opposite ends of the spectrum on the outdated debate, because as we've reshot this and talked about it, and as our thoughts come to a close a little bit more here, I kind of realized that there's more of a usefulness window for these objects if you're able to kind of suspend the luxury feel of it a little bit.
That's
which
fair.
is completely opposite with me wanting to get this car that is like push button start with like leather and everything, because I'm going against all my principles with that. Because here, that's funny, when it comes to cars, I talk about my classic car MacBooks, the old Shelby Mustang MacBook. Oh God, if you were to hand me a 2021 Mustang or a 1965 one, no, I'm not taking the old one. Don't ask me.
That's so
No.
funny.
I don't want the
mentioned
old car
that
stuff.
I have contradicting feelings when it comes to this. When it comes to video game systems, I have contradicting feelings when it comes to cars as well.
So are you about to tell me that you like the older cars?
I would take the 1965 Mustang for sure.
Wow, I think it looks cool. It sounds cool, but in terms of, oh my God, Brandon, you just broke me, because here's my whole statement. We're gonna, when you watch this edit, watch that part in specific, go back and look at my eyes light up. I get it. I finally get it, Brandon. My heart has grown 3 sizes this day. Because guess what? It looks cool. It sounds cool. It's nostalgic. I love the idea of it. But when I want to use it every day, it's just not practical. Oh God, I totally get it. Yes, slow clap.
I mean, that's a fair point, for sure, because people that have the 1965 Ford Mustang, they tend to drive it to like car shows and cruises, but
And that's
usually
about
they
it.
don't drive it every single day. There are exceptions, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are awesome. They're awesome looking. They're a great piece of, they're like basically a living time capsule for previous times, previous days of yore. And but they're not, the most practical things in the world. So it's really
very interesting. Oh my God, this guy. I swear to God. This is starting to get scary.
Basically, it started off with Lucas on one end of the spectrum, me on the other end of the spectrum. He's useful, I'm useless.
Oh,
more ways than one.
No. Broden. That's not where I was going. That's his nickname. It's Bro and Brandon Broden. So Broden. No, that's not where I was going with this. No. You're not useless. Oh, come back.
Anyway.
Oh, fine. I meant it.
So Lucas is useful. I'm useless. When it comes to outdated tech, I was on the side of it being useless. You're on the side of it being useful. Every time I do this with my hands, I'm pointing in the wrong direction.
Yeah, and then when you see him doing this with his hands, don't go in there, because every time you distract him, it takes him a while to get back to where he was.
Okay, it's a story of my life. But I'm also useless in more ways than one. Anyway, so we started off on the different ends of the spectrum, take 32, and ultimately we have converged. We have met in the middle.
Yes.
Look at that.
I know it took all
Wasn't
this
even
time when we
planned.
finally. I know that's
In
really
part one
cool.
of this, guys, we did not converge.
No, we really met. We're at the end here, which I think leads us into our closing thoughts, which I think you set up unintentionally well. Our final thoughts are going to be some things. There's going to be two things. Something that I think is absolutely useless that I don't ever want to see again. Because it would seem at this point that I have a folder in my file cabinet for everything tech related, being, you know, the junkie that I am with it.
Right.
But there is one thing, but also, Brandon, if you remember, there's one thing that you remember.
Oh, I remember mine.
That you liked.
Yeah.
And they hit a wall and it was no longer the product that it was. So I'm going to start with mine. Right. It is the VHS player. If you told me in 20 years from now, oh, dude, you know, vinyl made a comeback when, you know, you were in your 20s. Well, you're in your 40s, VHS is coming back. No, I would call the cops on you because it doesn't offer me anything other than memories of pure horror. Basically, not only of having to rewind it, but the quality is it's way worse than you remember, guys. It's bad. Not only that, the varying degree of how these tapes are stored over time, that film is going to look really bad if it wasn't taken care of. Finding a player that even works at a cheap price is becoming very difficult these days, and I don't know why, but
seriously,
recently, believe it or not,
VCRs.
Yes, the DVD VCR combos are multiple hundreds of dollars on eBay.
Seriously.
I think old people that have VHSs that they want to watch who can't buy them at Walmart anymore, finally are buying them up. So I don't get it. The pandemic has increased prices on VCRs, guys. You've heard it here. So anyway, yeah, that's one piece of tech I don't ever want to see come back. And I realized this even before Brandon and I had this conversation because I was on eBay and I was going to buy a sealed copy of the Sorcerer's Stone. Yes, I'm obsessed, whatever. On eBay for like $2.99. And then I thought to myself, I really thought about it. I'm going to watch this one time. I'm not even going to watch it all the way through. I'm mostly going to watch the commercials at the beginning because it's nostalgic. I'm going to rewind it. I'm going to put it away. I'm never going to touch it again. It's going to take up a space on my shelf. And I'm going to say, why did I buy this? I just saw it flash before my eyes. So
that's what I do with every purchase I've ever had in my life.
Exactly.
But not normal.
If I can't even justify a Harry Potter purchase, you know it's
bad. That there's a problem.
Yes. I was thinking like, oh, I'll buy the first 3. They'll be unopened. They'll be part of my collection. And then I thought, dude, that'll be the worst $8 you've ever spent.
These were the VHSs.
Yeah. And then I thought, you know what? There's also a reason why they're sealed and they're so cheap.
Yeah, because they were buried in the middle of the desert, like E.T. for Atari.
And they're going to get reburied when I resell them. Actually, I won't even resell them. I'll be the one reburying all the copies that I bought over 20 years worth of time.
Yeah, but yes. When you run out of space everywhere else.
Yeah, when the Jenga tower can't support my Harry Potter fortress.
Yeah, I was just about to say the Jenga tower, it's transcended from being Apple products to now just being old Harry Potter releases.
Specifically the Sorcerer's Stone, like every language,
just the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yes. So
you got VCR, like a laser disc in there.
Oh God, like a custom copy.
Yeah. So, I could be wrong, but I feel like that movie came out at a time where Laserdisc might have still sort of been around. I know it came out in 2001. And so I could be very wrong.
Yeah, so the year actually for Laserdisc, the year that Sorcerer's Stone came out was the year that I think the last Bollywood film was released on Laserdisc.
Okay.
I made that up. Did it sound like it could be credible?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I guess.
so
I
VHS
immediately in my
guys,
head started scrambling for Bollywood films that I know, and I couldn't really come
Like
up with
none.
anything.
I just thought it sounded like it could be true. If you say it with enough conviction, people believe anything.
That's true.
So, but what you don't need to believe, you just need no, wait. What you don't need to question, what you just need to believe with the lights change is that
Seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing.
and see that VHS sucks. So that is one thing that I am not going near.
I must
Brandon,
say as
continue.
well, to your point, that I am always so baffled when people go, I'm trying to think of like an example of it specifically. I see it a lot on
Okay.
Facebook. They'll be like, you know what? It's a crisp fall evening. I'm going to break out my tube TV, my VCR, and my original VHS copy of Halloween. And I'm just like, but why? But why?
It hits you in the
Nostalgia?
nostalgia
Really?
for all of 2 minutes. And then when you realize that you
Yeah.
can't tell legitimately if it's Tommy or Michael, like it's like
It's a fair
like
point.
if you squint, they both have brown hair, you know. Like it could happen. It looks like trash and it's in 4:3. And like the only way you can justify that is if you're watching the TV extended cut. Then I totally get it, you know. Or
But
if
that
like
is available on Blu-ray.
and that's the only way you have it, and you're 37. Like that's the only way I could justify it. Then I don't know what to say.
Sure.
If I like if Brandon and me are calling your physical media choices old, then you really got to reevaluate your priorities in your
Correct.
life. Okay.
Correct. If your nostalgia is going to the point of just of putting yourself at such a
Obscurity.
disadvantage, then I'm going to have to ask you to
100%.
take a step back and reevaluate your life. Please.
Yes.
Anyway, so Lucas chose an item, one of the few items that he would never allow back into his life.
Yeah.
That is outdated tech. And now I'm going to select something, perhaps the only thing, video games excluded, that I would love to have back in my life. And you know what that is?
I don't know, Brandon. What is that?
Let me tell you, Lucas. It would be an iPod.
You mean this?
Oh, you bitch.
This is my iPod from middle school and high school before I got my iPod Touch. Yes. This is my 30 gigabyte white 5.5 gen iPod video.
Man.
One of the yes. It still works barely. It has my my high school music selection comprised of exactly what you think it is, Brandon. It's Eminem, it's Sum 41, it's Marilyn Manson and Sweeney Todd. I mean, what else would it be? Throw some Nightmare Before Christmas in there, you know? It's me in high school. Oh, and of course I have all of Steve Jobs's Mac press conferences on there as well.
Are you serious?
No, I made that.
Oh, okay, thank God. There was going to be some hard judgments there for a second.
But yes, these are not only nostalgic, but they're really useful in today's market. A lot of people like Brandon like to have their music, separate from your phone.
Yeah, I want it
but
separate.
It also has
it.
that Wolf DAC chip in there. The quality is going, it's if you're an audiophile, it's going to be unparalleled to streaming and even putting the file on your phone just because of that chip in there.
Yeah, it's
very versatile. It's very nice.
That's exactly what I want back in my life is just a device there only for music.
Perfect size. Look, as you talk, I'll show you some comparison.
Maybe some, wow. For people that are just listening to us right now, it's a little late for me to introduce this little aspect, but
literally
Lucas is putting his iPod up against his iPhone,
which is a
and
10R. It's a standard iPhone size.
it's about half the size, I would say.
Yeah, and as far as thickness goes, it's still look at
It's
how
about it.
close that is. It's a little
Right.
less,
It
but it's
looks
super
as
close in
thick
thickness.
until you take that case off your phone
Yeah.
and just destroy it. But
still, this is a 16-year-old device. Look at the design language.
yeah, no, it's great. The only
Gorgeous.
thing that tells you it's old is the fact that it exists to begin with.
Yes.
If you know what I mean. Like, just the fact that you're holding an iPod, that alone speaks volumes.
You know,
since
even
they don't
like,
really make them anymore. But
like the variable influx of 18-year-olds that worked with us over summer here, they've all gone to school and left, what have you. They
trying to make
probably
something
have,
of their lives.
right, look at us. They probably have grown up in a life where they never even needed an iPod, or B, never even saw the iPod app on their iPhone screen.
You are correct.
Is really outdated, but to you,
I mean, even
whatsoever.
me, when I got my first iPhone, which was the iPhone 5, there was no iPod screen anymore.
Wow, really? See, I can't believe I got an iPhone before he did. I jumped on the bandwagon in 2012. My first iPhone was the iPhone 4.
Yeah, mine must have been 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, it must have been 2013. That lines up. But yeah, I want an iPod in my life. And I'll tell you this, that the point where Apple went too far, in my opinion, was when they introduced the iPod Touch. And I was like, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing as a phone. It just does not have
literally
in it.
You just need that little app right there. It's the same thing.
Right.
And this was infinitely cooler. Oh God, this was a status symbol, Brandon, back in the day. Oh, iPhone was not obtainable by the peasantry.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Back in the day when they were exclusively AT&T
locked.
Crazy. But yeah, so it's just like I don't know. I just want a device that I can just play music on, and only music and subpar quality TV shows and movies. And but mostly music. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something about that I find really charming.
Well, I'm really glad
anymore.
Exactly. And I'm glad that at this moment we have both converged and met at a crossroad between Mustangs and MacBooks. Wow, that could be a good episode, Mustangs and MacBooks.
Mustangs and MacBook. I could see that put on a t-shirt. On the front it says Mustangs and MacBooks, or it says, "Why are you still here?" And then on the back it says Mustangs and MacBooks.
Like it's gonna be like a really like iconic moment where the fan alliance becomes strong with the Force. You're either on one end or the other.
Exactly.
Because I mean, these are some pretty divisive polar opinions that we have. Like we're not really wishy-washy on too many of them. Pretty polar.
Sure. I think we're a little wishy-washy, but I see your point.
I guess it might be our personality to be wishy-washy. I count that into the equation already.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Still wishy-washy, but maybe not quite as much as usual.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we have some pretty controversial opinions about what outdated means. That's for sure.
True. Yeah, I just can't believe how much it flies. My emulation talk flies in the face of everything I've said in this video and all the other videos. That's
why I remember
very funny.
The first time we recorded this, when you brought it up, I was like, no.
It's like behind
like If I
Can he not
remember
hear us talking
correctly,
into his earpiece?
you brought it up in the physical media episode, and I was like, shut up. Shut up. I didn't say that, but in my mind, I was like, oh, because we just spent like 2 hours trying to explain to people why physical media needs to exist. And
I know
whatever.
It's so funny. It just really goes to show how preferences are a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
But
if I was a PC guy, I would probably give the emulation a try, but
within
immediately
6 months, you would come to work one day and be like, dude, I get it. You're gonna be like, I hopped on the PS2 last night. I played Quantum of Solace for the first time. I beat it twice on the emulator since I got my PC. I played it last night. Lucas, you were so right, dude. You were so right. I can just picture it very vividly.
I sign off. I sign off on that Brandon impression. I don't sign off on a lot of them, but
Thank God.
You yelled at a spot where it didn't really seem all that natural, but you did it anyway. You had the hand movements, you had the shaking.
If we were in Dish, it would have come across much more spectacularly.
I believe it.
But I think we have covered all of our bases today for this, however many hour the thing. This is definitely longer than the first take for sure.
I believe we did as well. Now, what it comes down to is, what do you guys think? All 10 of you.
I forgot there are people actually watching this. I forget that we're not doing this for our own entertainment half the time. There are people actually. Yeah, you know what, guys?
Why can't it be both?
What do you think? The street works both ways.
It's a two-way street.
Yes,
here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So yeah, let us know down in the comments. Let us know what you think. And do you agree with me? Do you agree with Lucas? I say agree with Lucas.
Yeah, I gotta agree with me too.
Just agree with him. I'm kind of more agreeing with him anyway on this, even though that makes no sense.
He finally admitted it.
You're welcome.
We've been talking about it for a while. Yeah, the Jenga Tower does wonders.
We babbled on enough to the point where I'm just like, you know what? I see it.
God, I feel like getting to shut up. Fine, Lucas, you're right.
So yeah, let us know what you think. Outdated tech. Do you find some use for it, or are you kind of like, I don't know, whatever? Or are you just like, no, it's trash. I throw it in the trash. Whatever,
guys.
Whatever it is. Also, does anybody want to see the original version of this episode that we had to re-record? Because we'll do it. I mean, we'll do it. It's basically just Lucas talking to himself.
So what you could do is you could play my voice talking over like a track of like literal guttural noise, and it would probably be more audible than the original take.
Sure.
It was pretty bad,
but there was good moments in it that I'll forever miss.
All right, everybody, and with that, I must ask, why are you still here? And
why are you still here?
And I must ask you guys something else too. You want to see a real funny, genuine reaction? Hey, Brandon, hop on your Gmail and get on that Dropbox thing. Get ready to send me this file because I didn't hit record at the beginning of this conversation. I mean, it's fine. Just upload it. It's fine. It's not gonna take that long. But right after you said it's recording and it made the noise, I don't know why. I just continued like normal. And I realized this about halfway through the podcast, but I knew it was going to ruin your whole mood. So I waited until the end. And then I wanted to get the authentic reaction on camera so that I could end the episode on that. And it would be absolutely hilarious.
What if I told you that mine wasn't recording either?
I would tell you that you're a fucking liar because it says recording in the top left. But if it wasn't, I would say it's a good thing that we came up with the system of both of us recording because someone had to.
So are you just lying to me then?
I am dead ass serious. Like
if it
doesn't
says recording in the corner for you, then it's been recording.
But my record thing isn't highlighted in my box. Here, I'll press it. Watch. The host must ask permission to give you. Yeah, there's no way I recorded it.
Oh, okay. Well, sucks to be you. Bye, everybody.
Ow. Oh my god. That was probably the best way you could have that was good.
I don't know. I couldn't figure it. Wait a minute.
Oh my god. An Iron Man.
Anybody want this? It could be yours. $49.99.
You better sign it at least. We have to sign it for them.
What's that?
So we better sign it for them at least if they're gonna
happily.
pay that.
Happily
Oh,
sign
God.
this for you. I'll make it out to you and your whole family. You know, in conclusion, since
I have
I
a pimple
grabbed
on my
this,
forehead.
it's not at all related, but I think you'll get a kick out of this story. You know those terrible ads on Facebook that are like, hey, look at this. Only $60. And you're like, really? For that? Okay. And it was, it was a total lie. I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. It was an awesome, like, fully automated Iron Man helmet that like had lights on it and sound, and the front faceplate came up on its own and all this stuff.
And they sent you a Happy Meal toy?
So I paid the money and this is what they sent me.
That's not real.
I think it's from a kid's Halloween costume.
Is that a real story or are you being funny?
I am not being funny. And you know what's even worse? I got my money back, right? Luckily, I paid through PayPal, so I got my money back. But here's the funny thing. PayPal says to me, we're going to give you your money back, but you haven't shown us enough evidence that there was any wrongdoing on the seller's part, so they get to keep the money as well.
Okay.
So I have no idea where the money came from. Did PayPal pay me? Apparently. That's not my concern, though. My concern is the fact that those sellers, they got to keep the money as well. And they scammed me.
Yeah, so there's their permission to keep scamming people, basically.
100%. And I don't consider myself a stupid person. I would never fall for that again, mind you.
Right.
But, I'm relatively intelligent and I fell for this. As soon as I saw it show up, I was like,
this is what I get for listening to a Facebook ad.
This is what you deserve.
I mean, for buying something off a Facebook ad, like that might throw your intelligence card out the window to begin with. I wasn't going to say that, but I digress.
How dare you? I bought a cool bracelet off of a Facebook ad one time that helped support shark conservation. That arrived. It was nice.
Well, what a way to make me look like an ass.
But then again, I spent $50 or $60 and I got a Happy Meal toy. So
Brandon, if I showed you like, hey dude, look at this. Hold on. I spent $60 on this. I don't even want to. No, we're not going down that road.
What were you grabbing for there?
It was supposed to be funny. Like if I have shown you the amount of things I bought for $60 and said, hey, look.
Oh, I see.
I try to like mime it to make it look like I was. It was my attempt at humor. It was my 5 a.m. attempt at humor.
Wait a minute. So edit it. So you say that, and then it cuts right to this. Lucas, you slay me. That's so funny.
Yes, indeed.
Anyway,
am I really gonna do that cut, or are we just gonna leave that in for dramatic effect? Because that was pretty funny.
no, you're not gonna really do it.
Oh, thank God. I mean, with this guy, guys, I don't know sometimes.
Anyway, thank you for joining us.
And guys, why are you still here?
Why are you still here? Seriously.
Because by my calculations, Brandon's got to be at work in 7 hours. Guys, let him go.
Yeah, let me go.
Let him go.
Let me go.
Someone's got to keep this guy on target. Man.
That's right. All right. Bye, everybody. We love you.
Guys.
Thanks for joining us. And seriously, you want to see that original episode? We're going to make it happen.